in all of the things I seek in life, I seek knowledge. I seek wisdom. I seek understanding, discernment. And that is what has made the difference in everything I do. First money I made was 560,000. That was what gave birth to GMH of close to hundreds of billions in valuation today. For multi-story construction, they shape on the skyline of wherever they are. So they are beautiful skyline to behold. I didn't start out to be a construction person. I actually started out as a geotechnical person. So I was doing piling for multi-story structure. So when you have a mentor, it's like a toddler sitting on the shoulder of his father. He'll be able to see what the father is able to see. But if he's walking on the same ground as the father, he can't see what the father is able to see.
Welcome again to the King Edosa show. Today, we have with us an amazing entrepreneur in the person of Mr. Ayoolanrewaju Kuyebi, the CEO of GMH Luxury, a real estate company in Nigeria, Lagos, that is redefining the skyline of real estate in Lagos, in the neighborhood of Ikoyi, Lekki Phase 1 and VI. Sit back and enjoy his very inspiring entrepreneurial journey with us. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Firstly, we'd like you to share with us, how did you get started in your entrepreneurial journey and how did you get to this point?
You know, that's a very, very interesting question. So, there are a few codes that shaped my life as I journeyed through my career. And it's interesting that the first two actually is from the Bible when I was a Muslim. So, I was going through the Bible in my early days and I saw a quote that my people perish for lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge, perish. That the companion of fool shall be destroyed. Companion of fool, destruction. You know, so how do I get past this? So I took interest in reading to know further.
Right.
Then going further, I also discovered that there is something they call delayed gratitude. Delayed gratification. That means you celebrate later. You work now and celebrate later. You save now and spend later.
Right.
And that gave birth to my favorite quote. Whatever you do, don't eat your seed. Ensure whatever seed you have is planted. And that was why I was able to escape the popular Yoruba proverb that I never used money to do frivolous things. The first money I made was 560,000. That was what gave birth to GMH of close to hundreds of billions in valuation today.
Wow.
So for me, in all of the things I seek in life, I seek knowledge. I seek wisdom. I seek understanding, discernment. And that is what has made the difference in everything I do. Yes. So the first thing first is having a knowledge about whatever you want to do.
Right.
Because a future you cannot picture in your mind, you can never live in it. Even as a site engineer, I will tell you for free that I never see myself as one. I see myself as an entrepreneur. I see myself as a business owner, even while working on the site. And that was why the vision for GMH was written down while I was sitting down on the reinforcement cage on the site. Yes, and I've spelled it out correctly that by 2014, I'll start a real estate firm. And as at that time, I did not even have a dime in a saving account. Yes, my savings account was less than 10,000 as at that time. But, you know, knowing the fact that you cannot build a wealth without cultivating the habit of savings. So I saved to establish my first company, Geotechnical Consult Limited, with 560,000 naira. And the savings from Geotechnical Consult Limited was what gave birth to God Made Homes Limited, which is GMH Luxury. And it's interesting to note that between 2011 and 2015, due to the knowledge and discipline that comes with savings, we were able to divest 360 million from Geotechnical savings to start God Made Homes. So our first land was not a JV. We bought the land and we embarked on the construction. From the proceeds of savings from Joshua Consult Limited, yes. So we never go to the bank for our first project, never. It was a zero loan, whether from angel investor or from financial institution, zero loan. Because I always tell people what is actually lacking today is the fact that people that are even working, they are working with the mindset of what they are going to earn. But until you are able to work without such mindset, that is when you're able to get the maximum reward. Because the behavior that earns you that reward is actually not having that fixated mindset of what you are going to get when I do what. So when you give excellent service, money chases you. But when what you get is the determinant of the service you give, then there is no way you will be able to give your best. So it's purely commercializing my passion, and that really works out well. And what's my passion? Excellent service. Anything I must do must be properly done. If you're going to do it at all, it must be done well. So that's how we started.
I know you're into real estate, sir.
Yes.
Tell us the business you do there, right? How you got started and how you got to the way you do right now.
So I've always loved construction. I've always loved building, and there are things that are striking when you look at construction, and that was why I didn't start out to be a construction person. I actually started out as a geotechnical person. So I was doing piling for multi-story structure. Because anybody can say they are civil engineer. Even a plumber will tell you I'm an engineer. But when it comes to piling is a specialized part of construction. So not everybody can dabble into piling. You must really know about it. Either by going to school or by being an apprentice by being an apprentice rigger. You must learn the rope. So I saw early enough that people that even dabble into the trade of piling, they don't really know much about piling. The engineers, from the engineers to the clients to the riggers to the piling contractor itself, they don't really know the integrity of piling. So I begin to educate potential clients about piling. So if you tell me that you want to do piling, what I will do for you is to educate you about how you can do a stop check on your project. How many bags of cement are you using? From the bag of cement, you can know if the piling is properly done or not. What is the depth of the pile? How do you measure your depth? So how do you get the total? How are you sure you've gotten to the total depth? You measure their drilling stem. You measure their flight auger. Did you understand? Educate you so that when you so going into it, you are not a novice. You know that for every pile they must use this number of bags of cement. They must use this volume of granite. They must use this volume of sand. So when I started out like that, I ended up getting 80% of the job because when I educate you, you pick interest. That's excellent service. So before you know it, we have 7, 8, 9, 10 projects of piling works going all around. And in doing that, yes, it's a learning curve for us as well. We've made mistakes. But you know that, like I always say, mistakes inspire winners, but it defeats losers. So we don't dwell on our mistakes. And that is why we are part of the real estate company that after 2 years we deliver a project, we'll go back to do what they call post-occupancy evaluation. What part of this building you don't like? What are the fittings that are not good, that are getting bad easily, frequently? What aspect of our design you want us to change going forward? They will abuse us a whole lot, but we will learn for free. We will learn for free. And that is why for every of our development, they may look similar, but there's a whole lot of improvement in both execution and the design as we go along on our journey. So that was the gap. And that gap, our ability to be able to bridge that gap is what gave Geostruct the kind of rise in a very short period of time. From a 560,000 naira company in 2011 to a company that is able to save 360 million in 2014.
That was about 3 years.
Yes. And giving birth to God Made Homes in 2015. And between 2015 and 2025, GMH is going to be 10 this year. And the company valuation is already tilting towards 100 billion in valuation. So when you look at all of those things, we've been very disciplined, we've been very dedicated, we've been very diligent. Show me a man that is not disciplined, I'll show you an accident waiting to happen. So those 3D are actually very, very dear to me as a human being. Being disciplined, being diligent and being dedicated. Because, you know, it's in the Bible also that a man that is diligent in his work will not stand before men, but before what? Kings and princes. So life is principle based. Right. So when you break the principle, you suffer the ridicule. So when you understand all of these things put together, it's actually what is shaping my life, and it's actually a belief system that reinforces my value as I go along. So the mindset is, don't postpone the evil days. Deal with the most difficult thing now, so that you do the easiest thing later. So that's the philosophy. That's the philosophy of GMH. We'll do the most difficult things now, then we'll do the easiest thing much later. And that is why you are seeing those high rises. We like to do things that are daring. We don't do ordinary project. And that is why anywhere our project is located, you will see them. They stand out and they stand tall. So when you do piling, people call it a dark business. Okay. Do you know why? Because if I tell you it's 12 meters, that is there, it's 12 meters. How do you measure it? It's on the ground. There are specialized equipment to use to determine the depth. Okay. That can also be manipulated. Right. And not compromising test, by being truthful, I've lost money. But I've never lost my reputation as far as piling is. The truth of the matter is just that the wealth of any city, of any nation, is measured by the numbers of high rises you can see. When I travel around, the first thing I look at is what is the level of their construction, because I can use that to gauge the outlook of their economy. Because by the time you see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 abandoned projects, you know that there is something that is definitely wrong in with that economy. But by the time you see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 multi-story structure going on all at the same time, you know that the economy is actually booming.
You talked about high-rise.
Okay.
I know GMH likes high-rise construction. You've shared with us the inspiration.
Yes.
We'd like to know, what are the benefits of such constructions and the challenges in our environment, especially in Lagos?
For multi-story construction, they shape on the skyline of wherever they are. So they are beautiful skyline to behold, to be honest with you. When you build your duplexes and all of that, they can easily be missed out in the crowd. Right. But when you build these imposing structures, you know, they stand tall. And the truth of the matter is just that the wealth of any city, of any nation, is measured by the numbers of high rises you can see. Correct? Yes. Yes, because they are capital-intensive projects. Right. And that is why when you go to some country, you can count the numbers of 10-story and above building you are going to see. So when I travel around, the first thing I look at is what is the level of construction of this country? What is their style of architecture? What is the style? What is the level of their construction? Because I can use that to gauge the outlook of their economy. If the economy is booming, you are going to know by the numbers of crane you are going to be seeing all around. Right. Because by the time you see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 abandoned projects, you know that there is something that is definitely wrong in with that economy. But by the time you see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 multi-story structure going on all at the same time, you know that the economy is actually booming. So that is one part. The other part is the fact that when you look at the cost of land, and that is why we are not able to build in very many locations in Lagos, because it's not every location that can afford such construction. Because when you look at the cost of build and the cost of sales, the cost of sales might not be able to absorb the cost of build. So it will not be economically viable. And that is why you see us around Lucky 1, VI, Ikoyi, then eyebrow area in Bagada, of mainland, which is Bagada, because of the proximity to the highland. So, and the advantage there is the fact that when the cost of land is going high, the best thing you can do is to go vertical, so that you can maximize that cost. Imagine buying a plot of land. If, for instance, now in Lekki now, cost per square meter is about 1.1 million, 1.2 million. So that means if you are buying 1,000 square meters, is 1.2 billion. Right. So if you build semi-detached on a land of 1.2 billion, the cost of land alone is 600 million. How much are you going to sell the house? Do you understand now?
Very well.
So on that 1,000 square meter, if you put decent 14 units on it, the cost of land becomes 1.2 billion divided by 14 units. Do you understand now? And you can conveniently say your 3-bedroom flat is between 250, 300 million. So you are able to break even.
Right.
Because the cost of construction, the total cost of construction, which includes the cost of land, will now, you now have a margin of about 60, 70, 80%.
Okay. Okay.
Return on investment.
Okay. Now we'll go a bit about of your background.
Yes.
Were you born here in Lagos?
Not at all.
Where were you born?
I was born in one village in Ogun State.
Where did you school?
In that same village in Ogun State.
Interesting. Your entire education?
No, not at all. So I was born and brought up in Adodo local government. Okay. Adodo. Okay. Under Adodo local government.
Okay.
And I got admitted at Federal Polytechnical Ilaro. Okay. To be honest, I wanted to do mechanical engineering. Okay. But for some reason, I find myself in civil. Okay. And, you know, I was not really happy because I wanted to do mechanical. So I was just doing it for...
Doing it?
For, not just for doing it, because I believe that I should have come out with a distinction instead of the upper credit I came out with. If I had put my whole, but I wanted more. Right. I wanted to go to Unilag, not Federal Polytechnical Ilaro. So I was constantly trying to enter Unilag. Eventually I was able to. So I did geology in Unilag. Okay. Do you understand?
Great. What has been the most difficult challenge you faced in this journey in the last 15 years? Because you said GMH has been 10 years.
Yes, now, yeah. Geostructures, yes.
For the past 15 years, what was that most difficult challenge you faced in this journey?
The most difficult challenge I have faced are incidents that threatened my reputation as a person, that affected my peace of mind. And I struggle with it a whole lot because truth hurts, but it's only the foundation for growth. Anything you build on falsehood is going to crumble. Correct. So when you do piling, people call it a dark business. Okay. Do you know why? Tell me. Because if I tell you it's 12 meters, that is there, it's 12 meters. How do you measure it? It's on the ground.
I have to dig it out.
So there are specialized equipment to use to determine the depth. Okay. That can also be manipulated. Right. But I've never compromised any test. And not compromising test, by being truthful, I've lost money. But I've never lost my reputation as far as piling is concerned. I'm always truthful. It cost me money, it cost me pain, but I'm willing to go through that pain. And that was why we could cancel 2 projects back to back. And we are still thriving. If a development company should cancel 2 projects back to back, they may not be able to come out of it. But the grace of God has helped us thus far because we are always on the side of the truth. It's very difficult. Sometimes you feel all alone. Sometimes you feel abandoned. Because the road that is that is plied by somebody that is truthful is not crowded. It's so very, very lonely. But the road that is plied, that is enshrined with falsehood is where you have the majority. Do you understand? So it's very difficult. It's very hurtful sometimes because people will not even appreciate that honesty sometimes. But at the long run, okay, I'll give you an instance. We did a project in Port Harcourt on Olu Obasanjo Road, a gas station. And I told the client that, Jesus Christ, when we came, the reference the surveyor took was a particular road, which is Olu Obasanjo Road. But there's another road that if we take, that the way I'm seeing Olu Obasanjo Road, this was in 2017, that the Olu Obasanjo Road will be flooded and we cannot use it as a reference. I lost 20 million on that project because I refused to take Olu Obasanjo Road as a reference. So I cited the finish level of the gas station is almost at 2 meters from Olu Obasanjo Road. So the client said he's not going to pay for those fillings. And we had an option, whether to just put the filling station at the mercy of Obasanjo Road, and the filling station will be flooded whenever there is heavy downpour. Or we took on that responsibility, put it on an adjoining road that is very high up, and put it at 1 meter above that road as well, so that no matter the level of flood,
it's above it.
It's above it. Fast forward to, so we finished the project in end of 2018, 2019.
Okay.
There was one particular heavy downpour on Obasanjo Road. It's Energematics filling station. It's a popular filling station in Port Harcourt. Okay. People that are conversant with Port Harcourt, they would know the filling station. It's one of the best gas stations in Port Harcourt in terms of aesthetics, design, and functionality. Okay. There is Access Bank, there is FCMB. Okay. On this particular day, every property on Obasanjo Road was flooded. The capacity of this gas station, we have 11 numbers. No, we have 11 numbers of 60,000 liters capacity underground tank. Yes, that's 660,000 liters.
Yes.
One of it was just for AGO. The rest is for PMS. And all of these tanks, they were filled to the brim when the rain fell. The client called me, and when I picked, he was just praying, because it was a contentious issue at that time, that he's not going to pay for that filling. And I lost 20 million. I showed him that this filling cost me this amount. And he said, it's your loss, this and that and that. He said that the 20 million he doesn't want to pay will have made him to go bankrupt, because he just literally received product that filled the entire 660,000 liters capacity. They were at full capacity when the rain started, and they had add-on gas, 20 metric tons. Yes. So imagine what would be what the mess would have been. Apart from the fact that water will enter those products, the gas could explode with flood, because it's going to distort the descent. You know, water is very powerful.
Yes.
The capsule that is the flood, it can disjoint the piping of the gas, and it will cause gas leak, and before you know it, because it's around residential area, one naked fire
is out, and
everything will be in flames. But we'll save that investment by losing that 20 million, because we could see ahead. And through its referrals, I was able to recover my loss. So majority of the people don't want to go through this process, but they want to enjoy the benefit of it. If you cannot pay the price, you can never take the price. That's it.
You cannot pay the price.
No, you can't get it. You can't take the price. You can't take. Anybody that dodges responsibility can never take the crown. Yes. Because you have to be responsible.
If you dodge the responsibility, you dodge the crown.
You dodge the crown.
Interesting.
The crown will elude you. Do you understand?
Very well.
That is why fortune only favors the bold. Do you understand?
I see that God made things and they are very bold.
No. We are. By His grace, we are.
They are very bold. They always like going
up. Yes. Vertical only.
What has been your best win in the journey?
My best win is actually betting on myself. I tell people this. People say that I'm inaccessible.
Okay.
They could see it like that because I bet on myself. And what people don't know is, the more you give yourself out there, the more people repel you. But when you look at yourself and love yourself and equip yourself, you attract people to yourself because you have values they are looking for. Do you understand? So, my investing in myself, taking my time to develop myself, to develop myself beyond being an engineer, being a geotechnical engineer, developing myself beyond that. You know, taking that bet on myself has actually increased my value and my decision-making process. Do you understand now? And that is why even we have 7 ongoing projects between 2022 and now.
Okay.
And I can tell you every single one of those projects are still economically viable. We can still take 40% debt on them. Not every development company can do that. When you consummate a project when dollar was 600, and the same project you consummated as at that time is still profitable at 1,400, 1,500 to $1, there must be something you are doing differently. Because when you look at that cost disparity of the devaluation, your project are supposed to be delinquent. And you cannot have that if you don't develop 3 aspects of your life. You can't. The first aspect of our life you need to develop that is non-negotiable is your mindset. Your mind. You have to grow your mind. The second thing is your soul set. Whatever you cannot take in the spirit, you cannot take it in the physical. It's not possible. It is not possible. Whatever you cannot take, whatever you cannot possess in the spiritual realm, you cannot take it in the physical. You cannot. Then the third one is the skill set. When you have a desire without putting in an effort, will lead to being delusion. You want to live in Banana Island, but your attitude is taking you towards Ekpe. You cannot be driving towards Ekpe and say you will end up in Banana. It's never possible.
No.
Do you understand? So your skill set. And I like the way the wise men, the way they put it, that poverty is not lack of money in your pocket. Poverty is lack of idea. Because it's idea that will bring in reward. It's idea that will make people that have the resources to commit to your idea. Like this, the King Edosa show now. There is a particular thing you would do. This is how Oprah Winfrey show started. And she was able to amass millions and millions and millions of dollars from it. This is how the popular podcast, this is how they started. Did you understand? It started as an idea. They are doing it small. Then before you know it, they are able to, by the time you started bringing the eye flyers and the numbers of your view is going up, then you begin to attract brands endorsement. They want to put money in your hand so that during your show, you'll be able to advertise because of your viewership, because of your subscribers level, because of the quality of the conversation, because of the quality of your content. That idea is now bringing resources. But imagine when you got this idea, you never translated it into, you never put in the work, you never put in the effort to translate it from being an idea to become a reality that we are seated here today. So people will not see the process, they will see the end result. So majority of the people don't want to go through this process, but they want to enjoy the benefit of it. If you cannot pay the price, you can never take the price. That's it.
You cannot pay the price.
No, you can't get it. You can't take the price. You can't take. Anybody that dodges responsibility can never take the crown. Yes. Because you have to be responsible.
If you dodge the responsibility, you dodge the crown.
You dodge the crown.
Interesting.
The crown will elude you. Do you understand?
Very well.
That is why fortune only favors the bold. Do you understand?
I see that God made homes, they are very bold.
No. We are. By His grace, we are.
They are very bold. They always like going
up. Yes. Vertical only.
Amazing. Yes. As an entrepreneur, who has been out there for over 15 years thereabout. What's that best advice you give to any and every entrepreneur out there? Be it a young entrepreneur that's just starting out or a veteran who has been there. What's that best advice that you have gotten that you'd like to share?
Be disciplined. And be sincere to yourself. My mentor told me something. He said, Larry, when bank is lending you any money below 300 million. They focus 300 million naira. They focus more on documentation. But when a bank wants to lend you from 1 billion above, they focus more on your character. Even if you have all the documents and you are wanting in character, nobody's going to give you money. And he told me, until you are able to get to a level whereby you don't need collateral to obtain facility from the bank, then you don't have integrity. And he told me example of people that gives personal guarantee for any amount of money they want to take. And it's part of them. That if he wants to take money from First Bank now, he doesn't have to put down collateral. It's his name that is the collateral. So he challenged me to build my name up to that level. And you can only build your name on integrity. And integrity can only come on when you are sincere to yourself. When you understand your limitation, when you understand your capacity, and you are honest about your capacity, and you know that, okay, I must hire to complement my weakness and focus on my strength. I know I cannot do it all, so I don't have to hit it all. I cannot be the architect and the engineer at the same time, or the builder, or the plumber. So I must hire all the good hands I can get so that the outcome of my product be great. Self-sincerity and discipline to follow through with your self-sincerity. If you have those two, then you can become another Warren Buffett of this world.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. What is the importance for entrepreneurs to have mentors in their journey?
That is the place of coach. There are role models, there are mentors.
Right.
Mentors are the one you have direct contact with. Role models are the people you look up to.
Right.
That you may not have that relationship with, but you are modeling your life after them.
Right.
To excel in any trade, you must have a mentor. It's a must. To be the best, you must learn from the best. Because a leader is somebody that will see something for what it could be. And he's seeing that what he's seeing is a summation of his experience that you are lacking. So when you have a mentor, it's like a toddler sitting on the shoulder of his father. He'll be able to see what the father is able to see. But if he's walking on the same ground as the father, he can't see what the father is able to see. That's the difference. So in everything you must do in life, you must have somebody coaching you through. If you don't have it, it's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for disaster. You must have. You must have. Because mentor will do two things for you.
Okay.
They will mold you.
Right.
And they will guide you. So when you are going off the track,
Right.
they will be able to tell you that, no, this you are going. I've made this mistake before. This is the end of it. But if you go this way, this is what will happen. And you will see it happen as if it's a fortune teller. Okay. So in every feed, there is no journey you want to embark upon that somebody has not embarked upon before you. So look for that person and find a way to connect with the person so that you will not suffer what they have suffered. You will learn through their own mistakes so that you don't make the same mistake. Not that it's a guarantee that you are not going to make mistakes, but when you make the mistake, they are there to guide you out of the mistake. That this is the way to go, this is the way to go, this is the way to go.